This Garchomp deck took me on a 10-game win streak while I was playing ranked, and I'm very surprised that Garchomp is actually pretty good in this meta. Paired along with Rampardos, it can be a huge threat. So basically, the whole premise is that Garchomp EX has a move, Linear Attack, for only 1 energy, and Rare Candy is super good when you're able to start with Gible and put Rare Candy into Garchomp. It has a very good HP pool of 170, and you're able to snipe you're able to snipe Pokemon in the back. You'll see in this video I've sniped a lot of Zubats or like 50 HP Pokemon that were just not able to evolve in time. And if Garchomp EX is not enough killing power with the 100 damage, even though usually it's just able to clean up stuff that you pinged at the back or in the front, you have Rampardos as a backup plan. So Rampardos kind of, since it's a fossil, you might not be able to draw it as much as your Gible or basic Pokemon, but Rare Candy also works on fossils as well. So Rampardos can come online dealing 130 damage, and we all know how good Rampardos is. It does 130 damage, and if it's knocked out, only gives 1 prize point. So it's a huge option, a good pivot if you really need it. Other than that, we're running 2 Rare Candies, 2 Skull Fossil, Giant Cape, Cyrus, because with Linear Attack, you're always hitting stuff on the bench, and you might want to pull them back out, especially if they're building up a lot of energy. You just kind of want to take that KO right away. Iono to reshuffle our hand, especially with Skull Fossils or like with just fossils in general. Sometimes it's tough when you're sitting on Cranidos, Rampardos, and you don't have your fossils, right? And 2 Lilies. Lily helps to keep Garchomp sustained and very healthy, especially once you put Giant Cape on it. Has 190 HP. Lily helps to heal all that damage that it has and just becomes such a menacing threat. Overall, I think Garchomp EX has, I love that Garchomp EX has so much play now, and paired with Rampardos, it can just be a huge meta threat. So if you guys enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. So first, I'm pretty sure the first deck that we faced off against was Carnivine on Arceus, and that matchup, typically, like when you start with Carnivine or when the opponent starts with Carnivine, it's pretty bad for your Garchomp and Rampardos. They can start like smacking you around for 70 damage each hit when Arceus is online, but luckily they started off with Arceus in the front spot. So starting off with Arceus here makes it a lot better, because then they have to leaf out or they have to put the energies on Arceus to retreat it. So it puts us in a much better situation. Also, take note that Gible, we're using the Gible that has no fighting, or it's a dragon type, so it has no weakness to it. So it looks like they Iono'd us here at the start. They're looking for their basics. Yeah, so they found Carnivine, so it'd be pretty bad if they got Leaf in this situation, but it looks like they don't have it yet, so they're gonna put energy on their Arceus. And we have the full line ready, so we're gonna just we're gonna evolve into Gibite, and we're gonna just attach energy and just start smacking the Arceus. My game plan here is hitting the Arceus allows us to use our Cyrus when they retreat, and it gives us the ability to knock it out later on. So after we evolve into Garchomp EX, we can start linear attacking, and it's a perfect situation because they actually put Zubat on the bench, which is 50 HP. If they don't have a cave, then it just gets knocked out right away, and I think that is what is going to happen here. So I'm going to put the Garchomp EX down, and I'm going to put Cape on. There's no point in linear attacking Arceus this turn, because if they don't have heals, Dragon Claw knocks it out next turn. Yeah, so we take out the knockout there on the Zubat. It's gone off the game. Crobat's not available for our opponent to use in order to put extra pressure, and it causes them to concede the match. So Garchomp is showing right here why it's very prevalent early game, and just to put early pressure. Even though we didn't start off with Rare Candy, we were able to find Garchomp, or we were able to organically evolve into Gibite, hit the Arceus, and then Garchomp was able to just finish off what was in the back. So So, up into our next match, we are going to face, I'm pretty sure, Darkrai Giratina. Starting off Gible. We're always going to start off Gible because we only have 2 Gibles in our deck, and you can never start with a Skull Fossil as the first basic Pokemon. It's not considered a Pokemon until it's actually on the board, playable. So we're always starting with our Gible, so it just makes our Garchomp line even more consistent when we play against it, or when we set it up. So, and looking at our hand right now, we got Professor Research and Iono with a Garchomp in hand as well. Pretty good for being able to find rare candy potentially, and so I think the game plan first is here we're gonna Professor Research and try to get that rare candy first. And if that doesn't work out, Iono for the next turn after. Alright, seems our opponent put down Darkrai at the start. And we're going second here, so they get the opportunity to put energy on their Giratina right away. Makes Giratina much more threatening sooner, but it's good that we have energy advantage here. We weren't able to find our rare candy, unfortunately, but this does give us the opportunity to Iono next turn, so we're just going to attach energy to Gible and just take 20 damage, or do 20 damage. Typically, Darkrai or any Pokemon in the front spot is going to probably run Poison Barb or Rocky Helmet in this deck, so getting that damage tag is pretty nice. They're probably also running potions and a lot of sustain cards. Okay, attaching to the energy in the back just because Darkrai EX at the front already took damage, so probably what I'm thinking right now is it probably shows that they have a leaf in their hand. So if we do choose to Iono, we could shuffle that leaf that they're holding onto in the back of their hand, or back into their deck. And it looks like we did not find rare candy, so we're probably gonna opt to Iono here if I remember correctly. Yeah, just looking through my cards, there's no point of professoring right now because it just makes our hand even more Marsable. I think the better option is just to Iono, just to shuffle those cards back, see if we get something else different. And it looks like we got very much blessed with what we had. We got the full Cranidos Rampardos line, and then rare candy is available to us, so Garchomp EX can immediately come online and start hitting the bench. It's important, I think, to hit Giratina. Giratina is the bigger threat here because it can threaten for 130 damage rather than Darkrai's 80. So it's good that we can put some damage on it and potentially Cyrus it out when we need to. And also, even if they use a potion on Giratina, heal it up to 120, Rampardos can come in 130, take it out. Looks like they found another Giratina. So they opted to put energy on the front Darkrai. It kind of shows me, or at least in my head, I'm thinking that they don't have Leaf in their hand anymore, and they want to potentially pivot out of their Darkrai. So with our Iono, we potentially slowed them down a lot, and with a almost full energy Garchomp up and almost a full Cranidos line available, we're ready to put on some crazy pressure. So just thinking about how I want to go about this, I'm probably going to put energy on Garchomp EX just to be able to threaten for the 100 damage with Dragon Claw, putting Cape just for extra sustain, because if they retreat out, they won't be able to one shot unless the one shot the next turn. So putting an energy on Garchomp and then going to opt to Dragon Claw the front. This makes it so that they have to put in they have to put in healing resources into the Darkrai EX on the front, even though it's pretty much already gone, and they would have to like waste potions and potential Pokemon Center ladies in order to get it out of range. And this, I wasn't expecting a Team Rocket Grunt, but luckily it only hit for 1 heads, so we're still in the game here. Garchomp EX can still start swinging for 100. And luckily for Rampardos as well, like it's sitting on the back. If we ever need it, it only requires 1 energy. So the investment is pretty low for how much damage it actually does. And it's pretty threatening on the field. So my opponent Broken Space Bellows, so they have full 4 energy, and so that they can 150. They can start 150 after they retreat their Darkrai. The Lily is definitely helpful in order for us to sustain health on Garchomp. It puts us out of range now of a Darkrai ping, 130 damage from Giratina, and also red, which would do a total of 170. So next turn, we're still not able to be knocked out. Taking the first 2 points there, putting crazy pressure on our opponent right now. I think my opponent is going to opt to switch into the Darkrai just because they want to get 1 more ping into the Garchomp before they can one-shot. They're probably going to get 2 because they're going to put an energy on the Darkrai this turn. So Garchomp EX will be at 170 HP, and then they can retreat Darkrai EX next turn, put another ping, so Garchomp would be at 150, and then, yeah, 170, 150, and then if they potentially have a red, they can one-shot. Putting energy on the front, yep. The Rocky Helmet, so now they can attack even sooner if I do opt to attack the front. I think I'm comfortable attacking here though, just because putting Darkrai at 40 HP is enough for Rampardos to take it out, to take out the Darkrai, and also Rampardos, if they choose to switch out into Giratina next turn, Rampardos can still KO even if they put a cape on. So they would need a cape and extra healing in order for Rampardos to be able to, or to struggle knocking out. And so if they retreat Darkrai EX this turn after I hit it for 100, they're not able to, or we can linear attack it. So it kind of puts our opponent in a checkmate scenario, and just like gives them less options, especially now that we used Lily. It forces them next turn to swap into Giratina EX in order to 130 us. Because if they stay in and attack with Darkrai, they cannot KO us. And then if they retreat, we can just linear attack and take the dub here. Alright, as I said, Giant Cape on the Giratina. They still need healing in order to survive. Okay, yeah, so they opt to take the Rampardos, which is totally fine. They can one-shot the Rampardos if they want. It still doesn't save them from us linear attacking their Darkrai. Garchomp comes in, and now we are free to linear attack and take the KO here. So heading into the next match here, I think we are facing, what is it we're facing? Let me check the top left. Yeah, so we're facing a water deck. Water decks, the meta decks right now contain a lot of Greninja, and I think this is what we're going to face off against: Greninja, Giratina, Snorlax. That deck just won a recent tournament, one of the biggest tournaments that actually happened in recent times. So this deck has a lot of flexibility and able to get into Greninja fast and even start attacking with Greninja. 60 damage plus the water shuriken, so 80 damage. But it typically sits on the backline while Snorlax builds up, and then also Giratina can build up at the same time. So it's just, there's a lot of options for damage in this deck. So let's see how we can play around this. So it looks like they leave their Froakie in here, and we have a pretty good hand. We have Rare Candy and Garchomp EX. So we can attach Energy to Gible here, just smack the Froakie for 20. And if they don't have any healing, we'll be able to knock it out next turn with Linear Attack. Attaching the Poison Barb here. Looks like they're going to front. It seems like they're going to front line with Froakie, but I'm pretty sure after drawing here, they decide to switch out. Then they put another Snorlax on the bench. Typically when you run Giratina, Snorlax, Froakie, you don't want to put one of the Snorlaxes on the bench. Maybe they're running a different version, but I think my opponent made a huge mistake here, honestly, running or putting the extra Snorlax there. Maybe they think that I'm going to knock it out with Garchomp. I'm going to knock out the Froakie anyway with Garchomp, but then there was no point of putting the Poison Barb there. So now that they switched out into Snorlax, in my head I'm thinking, if I have Rare Candy and Rampardos in hand, instead of letting them build up Snorlax in the front, I can just take the KO right away. And that's what I opt to do, I'm pretty sure here. Just attach the energy to Skull Fossil, Rare Candy, and Rampardos, and we can just build up the Gible later. We still have a Garchomp or a Gabite and another Rare Candy, so it's not a huge deal if we use one of the Rare Candies on Rampardos right here. But it's nice to just be able to take that KO while we have it. And also take note that we have a Lily in hand, and Rampardos is a stage 2 line, so it does work with Lily. Taking the poison damage here, not a huge deal, 50 damage and extra 10 from poison this turn. So we'll put us at 90. Still nothing threatens to knock us out, just because there's no energy on the board from our opponent because they retreated. And that's another reason why I opted to go into Rampardos, just because no energy on the board. It gives us a huge advantage to be able to make aggressive plays like that. So energy on the back Froakie tells me that they don't have Berry, and there's no point of them even putting Berry just because I'm going to knock out Rampardos. So they're just trying to build some time in order to get their Greninja line up. And there it is. There's our Gabite, which is good. So we can start building up the Gabite in the back. We can Lily the Rampardos here, take the knockout on Snorlax, and still threaten. I mean, yeah, in my head here, I was just calculating the numbers because we are poison and Lily only heals for 60. We're going to take 50 damage when we knock out this Snorlax. So with the poison damage, that's 60, so it just cancels out. And if they have Greninja online, they're going to do 20 with Water Shuriken and then 60 onto the Rampardos. So the Rampardos is probably getting taken out this turn anyway. Alright, getting that knockout point. There we go. Sometimes it's okay to make like those aggressive plays, just like reading the opponent's board state, just seeing like what options they are available to them. Typically, you know, I've been starting with Garchomp and using it as front line and linear attacking everything, but Rampardos, even if it gets knocked out, it's still only 1 point of like that the opponent gets, so it doesn't threaten us to lose the game right away. Okay, so they choose to knock out Rampardos here as expected, and I'm gonna bring out Garchomp, and I think I opt to, especially now with Lily, opt to attack the Froakie on the bench, just because it's like less likely. In my head, I'm thinking it's less likely for them to have a rare candy Greninja in hand. And even if they have Froakie, Froakie only has, I'm pretty sure, only 80 HP. So it knocks them out like in 2 turns. So, and rather than Greninja being, it's possible for Greninja to have Lily support. So the damage that we do to Greninja would just be completely nulled. So 50 damage on Greninja would not be as good as 50 damage on Froakie here. And yeah, so if they heal on Greninja, then they'll be at 120, and 100 damage on from Dragon Claw on Garchomp is not enough. I think even if they heal with Irida here for 40 HP on Froakie, that's still not enough healing, and they've used their supporter this turn. Yeah, as I think I remember that from the match. So yeah, linear attack still threatens the knockout on Froakie, and that'll give us the game. Okay, they opt to go for the attack anyway, but that's just GG's. There's nothing my opponent can do, and that's just a good game. Pretty sure that if they were running Giratina, they would have more options, but then even then, I don't think Giratina would have been able to get online fast enough. Yeah, it's just unlucky for my opponent. The next match here, let's see what we're going into. Going into Grass Energy again. This could potentially be Decidueye or Serena, but it ends up being Carnivine again. This deck has been running a lot lately. Carnivine has good synergy with Arceus, obviously, and Crobat being able to come up super early now with Rare Candy gives a lot of early pressure in the Arceus deck, Arceus matchup. And with Crobat available, you don't even have to run red, which frees up a lot of, or like different, it gives you options on what you can play. So my hand right now, I'm thinking it's not looking too great. I only have Gibble and Skull Fossil, and I'm thinking might as well just hold on to both of those so I can Iono next turn, because the only thing, even if I guess I opt to put down just the Skull Fossil, but even if I place the other Gibble, it wouldn't help me as much. So Skull Fossil, I place it down now, and I'm gonna probably Iono next turn just to fish for that Rare Candy Garchomp. I'm still not in range of being KO'd unless they have Arceus. They're probably searching for the Arceus. They need Arceus and Geo, but they can't use Geo this turn, so we're still good. So we do get that Rare Candy, and we do get that Garchomp, so it's pretty lucky for us that we were able to find both of those. And now we can start linear attacking 450, and them placing that Zubat is huge for us because we can knock that out super early. That's, I think, one bad side about running Zubat against Garchomp is that it just gets knocked out super fast. Yeah, Rare Candy, we're gonna evolve into that Garchomp EX. So the problem now is, so the Dragon Gibble doesn't take any extra damage weakness, but Garchomp EX is going to start taking 70 damage per hit from Carnivine if they have Arceus online. So that's the only downside. But linear attack, we do have lilies to like balance out the damage. We'll heal for 60, they'll deal 70, so we're still taking 10, but not the worst for us. And 2 more energies and we'll be able to just one-shot Carnivine. So we'll probably heal with Lily. And oh, there's the Arceus EX. So in my head, now I'm thinking there's no point of attacking the Carnivine. It's 80 HP, so I'm just going to do a linear attack onto the Arceus. And we do have run Cyrus in this deck, so we can potentially bring out the Arceus later on. Where's the Lily? Yeah, and so they can still, even if we take out Carnivine next turn, they can knock us out with Arceus. But luckily for us, they did put another Zubat down, and they're not gonna get this. I feel like they should have put the Zubat down later because we're just gonna knock it out again. Maybe they just didn't expect us to have another Lily because they could just take Garchomp out next turn. Even if, so we linear attack Zubat here, and even if they knock out our Garchomp, we have Rampardos in hand. So it's like kind of a checkmate scenario because Rampardos threatens to kill Arceus and everything else on the board and nothing to knock us out. So I just play out my hands so I just don't get Mars. Just want to dodge that. And I think I'm going to opt to put the energy on Garchomp so that they seriously want to take it out because it's like fully loaded now. It's a huge threat. But I think that was a mistake on my opponent's end. I wouldn't have put the Zubat down yet. But I don't think it mattered even if they put the Zubat or didn't put it down, because I would have been able to knock out Carnivine and then potentially knock out Arceus. We had options in the back, so GG's to my opponent there. Heading into the next match. Pretty sure this is against grass. Oh, never mind. I was wrong. I just saw the Rowlet card sleeves and I thought, but it's water energy and it looks like to be a Crobominable EX. So people run Crobominable EX usually with Greninja. It's kind of serves like an Executor EX, just a frontliner, huge HP, high retreat cost, just heavy frontliner. And seeing our hand right now, it's pretty good. Rare Candy, Garchomp. It's very good for us, and Lily as well. So they're searching for their cards. So we take 20 damage here, and even if they evolve into Crobominable next turn, that's 40 damage. So we can offset that damage completely with Lily, just healing for 60. Looks like I go for that evolution. Getting my hand down too is nice. And then I'm probably gonna opt to, I think, linear attack the Froakie, just because 50 damage plus 100 damage isn't enough to knock out the Crabrawler. So it's better to use linear attack here to hit the backline, and we can threaten Crobominable EX with a knockout with two Dragon Claws. They put another Froakie down, and they're gonna swing for 40 this turn. So yeah, now they're gonna start hitting for 80 guaranteed each turn. So this cape is very nice because now with Lily we'll be at 190 HP and we will not be able to get 2-shot. So even with Greninja, they would have to have Greninja in order for us to start getting kind of threatened by it. So I think it's good for us that we found the cape, and hopefully we find another Lily as well, just to be able to get out of that range. Garchomp EX pretty much soloing this. Yeah, this Rocky Helmet kind of is bad for us. It kind of acts like as if Water Shuriken was in play. So we're gonna take 20 damage. We would have, suppose we didn't have that Lily there, we would have taken 20 damage. And then if they had Greninja online, we might have lost the game actually, because 20 damage with Rocky Helmet leaves us at 90, and then the Froakie or the Greninja would hit us for 20. So it'd leave us at 70 HP, and Crobominable would have KO'd us. So this Lily's actually like super lucky for us, I will say, but that's just, part of the game, right? The luck aspect. But then again, they would have to have Rare Candy and Greninja in hand, right? So Dragon Claw hit for 100 here, and they would have to, in order to save their Crobominable here, they would have to retreat. So they have to have a leaf in hand or just put another energy on him. And yeah, it looks like they didn't have the options that they needed. So GG's there. And see, that's just like kind of the overall, like the good parts about Garchomp. It's just, it has such good pressure, and like it prevents your opponent from really building up things in the back without being threatened by like Cyrus. And like just like 50 damage early on is pretty hefty, and you saw in the games with Zubat, it was just getting KO'd right away. And those lines are just, even Froakie, like getting that extra damage off, it allows us to, if they don't find their rare candy in time, Garchomp can kind of control the battlefield a little with his linear attack. So yeah, that's Garchomp EX for you guys. He's, honestly, I love that he's a new threat, and he just has so much potential. I love that he's in the meta again. The rare candy has just made so many decks so good. So I appreciate all you guys watching, and if you made it to this point, I would greatly appreciate if you left a like. And you know, just if you want to see any other types of videos, just let me know in the comments. I'll be reading them. Thank you guys.